Hello, my name is Laura Hattersley and this is episode 6 of the CASK podcast. And today I'm going to start with talking about a really fun fundraiser that is happening in Australia. I got news last night that one of the supporters of ACNRF in Australia has decided to shave their head for CASK. I think this might be a first. So if anybody else would also like to shave their heads for CASK and raise lots of money, I think it's a brilliant idea. Maybe this could be our equivalent of Movember or the Ice Bucket Challenge. So I don't know, just an idea. Tell your friends. Let's see if this one takes off. So I'm very excited to see how much money this one raises over in Australia. The other thing that's been happening is that one of the supporters, Brooke, who is an avid supporter of ACNRF and a good friend, actually went to Parliament to represent CASK disorders. There was a parliamentary reception and she went there, spoke, told everybody about CASK and raised a profile of CASK and just really tried to raise a profile of rare diseases in Australia. So we're really, really grateful to Brooke. And please, if you are a parent who wants to help out and attend anything like that for whichever country you're in, please reach out because we are a very, very open community. We need the help. We need parents to come and support us and to, quite frankly, just, get out there and talk about CASK and raise awareness for us. We can't do it all on our own. So we're truly grateful to Brooke. It looks like a really fun day it was had and extremely important to do that kind of thing for us. Here in the UK, you may have seen our social media posts about our new shop, which is very exciting. I have ordered probably too many things. We now have, our t-shirt collection is growing. We now have specific ones for Rare Disease Day and CASK. So specifically they mention the word CASK and they use the nice Rare Disease colours and they are made to wear on Rare Disease Day, but also all year round. We also have more generic Rare Disease Day ones, which don't mention CASK. So these are great for anybody who is a special needs parent. It doesn't matter what disorder, anybody that's dealing with rare diseases and complex needs. So please take a look. There's a really cool design, which is a heart with lots of words that mean a lot to us within that heart. And there's also some men's t-shirts with zebras on. So think zebra, which is to do with the fact that the zebra is the rare disease animal. And if you go on our social media, you'll be able to read a bit more about why that is the case. So please have a look. If you look at, you can go onto our website, caskresearch.org, where you'll find the shop. And it's with this amazing company called T-Mill. And the great thing about T-Mill is that we can rest assured that as well as helping our children, we're not ruining the planet with fast fashion. Anybody that knows me knows that my first love was the environment and animals, and that's actually how I first got into science. So I would find it quite difficult just to kind of get cheap sweatshop t-shirts and try and sell them to raise money for our charity. T-Mill tries to be as sustainable as possible. They're printed in the UK. Their factory uses sustainable power, I believe. The cotton is organic. They should be really good quality. I'm just waiting for my samples, so I haven't seen them yet. But I will let you know what I think, and I'll probably be wearing one in the next podcast. Advocate for rare disease. I think there's no better way than wearing a t-shirt with some words on to stimulate conversation, because obviously it's not the easiest conversation to start. You're not just going to go and just suddenly say, oh, hey, do you know it's Rare Disease Day? Well, maybe you will. But if you're wearing a t-shirt that says something quite unusual on, that conversation would just start more naturally. So I do think these t-shirts are a good way to go with starting a conversation, and just also a conversation about disability and inclusiveness. And that is what our heart ones are trying to encourage. Over in France, there's lots of exciting stuff going on in France. I'll just mention a few things. They still haven't decided on who to give the grant to, so that is pending, but that is still exciting and happening in the background. These things do take time. But Thierry, the founder of the French organisation, had some very good news. So that is a professor who is very renowned in the world of rare diseases, and she has agreed to do a prenatal study on CASK, and that is starting really, really soon. She's all geared up, she's all ready. There will be a webinar happening to kickstart it. So if you are in France, I believe this is only going to be happening in France. So if you are listening in France or know any patients in France, just keep an eye on their website. So that is Association Enfant CASK France. But I'm sure if you're in France, you will know exactly which your organisation is. So that actually brings me on to the last part, where I just wanted to, I guess, kind of explain a little bit more about who the CASK Coalition are. So I'm talking about all these different countries, but why do I know what they're doing? How do we work together? What is the point of the CASK Coalition? So the CASK Coalition started probably a few years ago now, and it was the idea came because we would be in meetings. So the founders of organisations in different countries would be in meetings with researchers, and obviously we'd all be on our separate cameras, and we'd be talking to the scientists to try and get some funding going. And we could just tell that they didn't know if we were working together or whether we were working separately. And so we were finding that we were having to state this. And even then, we weren't too sure if they believed us, because sadly, there is quite a lot of competition within the rare disease world, and there is a history of charities not working together. So we thought probably the best way of dealing with this is to come up with an umbrella name that says, we're all part of this, and present ourselves to researchers as a unit. And so that's when we came up with the CASK Coalition. And it's never supposed to be an extra organisation. There's nobody in charge. It's literally just an inclusive name for all the organisations that have agreed to work together collaboratively. So as I have said before, we have 4 organisations in that. So one is a French one is us, obviously, in the UK. One is ACNRF Australia, and the other is ACNRF USA. So there are 4 of us at the moment. We're obviously really, really hopeful that it will grow. The whole point of it is that really we want every organisation to be part of the club, because we believe, like, the ethos of the CASK Coalition is that we can help our children better and get treatments faster if we're all sharing information and working together rather than working separately and almost working like as competitors. So we really, really feel very passionate about this. And on the website, which is thecaskcoalition.com, there is information on the criteria. It's quite long-winded, but really it's just saying play fair, share things, only if you can. Like, obviously there happens to be quite a lot of confidentiality issues when working with researchers, but always put the interests of the patients first, in terms of working together and just supporting each other. So we're constantly, so the founders of these organizations are constantly on WhatsApp or Messenger telling each other, this is how I know what to say on the podcast, because we share everything with each other. And it also stops duplication. So one charity could be, for example, talking with a scientist and might have been talking for months and months about a prenatal study, unbeknownst to another one that might have also been talking to a scientist in another country about a prenatal study. Now, do we necessarily need 2 prenatal studies at the same time? Probably not. So that's why it's really useful to know what other people have in the planning, because we don't have unlimited resources and we don't have unlimited money. So we do need to know what each other are doing to make sure that our resources are used wisely and, I guess, spread about. So, and I think with the information, with the news from America about the NIH funding issues since the election, I think that kind of showed that we do need to work together internationally on a worldwide stage, and we can't just have researchers in one country, which none of us are doing anyway. But by having all these different organizations in different countries, we can really grow and support our communities And we can reach out and grow very strong links with researchers in those countries that might not previously have known about CASK. And then, together that creates a worldwide CASK research community. So, so please, one, if you are in a country with a CASK Coalition member, please show your support for collaboration by supporting that charity, because none of us started with any funding. The only funds we have are from our own fundraisers and from the community. None of us got seed funded with like 100,000 or £1 million. We all started from zero. Basically, our bank accounts were zero when we started. So we do need support. Please think about volunteering for any of us. And if you are in a country where there isn't a CASK coalition, I guess my plea would be, support the coalition in your regional area. So if you are in Europe, support the European ones. If you are in obviously like Asia and Australasia, support the Australian one. And my vision of the future is that people will be able to support their own in-country ones. Hopefully we'll have a German member, and hopefully we'll have like a Spanish member and that kind of thing. That is my dream. And also, if you are a parent wanting to help a lot more and feel like your country really needs to have a charity, we are more than open to chatting and supporting you if you build your own charity. And that doesn't mean we're going to own it or control it or anything like that. We just want to help. We just want to expand the research all over the world and support parents if they want to do what we've been doing, support them in it. So that's kind of all for today. It's been a really exciting week, and probably speak to you next week. Okay, bye.